Here's my question. What's your advice for HSPs with new boundaries and old codependent narcissistic family patterns when we're caring for an aging parent in the pandemic? That's a toughie. All right. My 89-year-old mother, who is a covert narcissist, lives with us. 3 months into the pandemic, she's starting to run her own errands. She drives well, wears masks, and uses hand sanitizer, but cannot figure out her cell phone, which is the thing that makes contactless pickup actually possible. When she has a problem, she panics and does something like charge right into a busy store or get into a fender bender and drive to the dealership and the rental car place. All of which would be cool if she weren't 89 with a serious heart condition and didn't live with other people. I'm not ready to take her keys away yet and limit her ability to get out in the world and see other humans. But my wife and I aren't willing to trust our health to her judgment either. So I think the solution is to go with her and just act as a backup. But I'm also highly aware that I'm a recovering codependent and control freak and that she's a narcissist. Having me drive her everywhere and see to her every need is her dream. Yep, good awareness. It's also help she legitimately needs, and that keeps us all safe. Here are the boundaries I set. I've asked to go with her on car trips, to limit those trips to what's actually necessary. We both have to agree on this and to give me at least a day's notice so I can plan for them. I check in with myself often to make sure I'm not feeling resentful or over-functioning before I act. I feel like she has independence and I have limits with this solution. Do you agree? Am I missing anything? Awesome question. Lots of people are dealing with this. I have multiple things to say that might sound like contradictory things to say. And yes, that is the headache of dealing with this dynamic as a recovering codependent and as having narcissistic family members that you are taking care of. So it's a lot of checking in moment to moment of what do I need to do today? I think you've set excellent boundaries to the best of your capabilities while acknowledging that you can't fully control her. Yes, 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 yes. The acknowledgement of I am a control freak. As highly sensitive people, I think most of us sit on a continuum that I could call particular to control freak. Maybe I need to do an episode on that one. Give me some comments if that resonates with you guys. But I often kind of jokingly call myself very particular. I'm very particular. I would often prefer to have a paid service than ask someone for help because paid service will do it my way. Yep. So we have to deal with that reality of that's who we are. So how do we deal with that with other people, especially when we're in a caretaking role? So grounding ourselves in, I definitely have control issues when it comes to this person. If this were me in this situation multiple times a day, I would have to sit, stop, take a deep breath and go, I have control issues. I've controlled her as much as I can. I let go of the rest. The book, I don't have it right now in arm's reach. I usually do. I think it might be behind me on the shelf. The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. I would have that kind of tucked under my arm at all times in this situation. I would start my day and end my day with the daily reading from that book or earmark some favorite ones that really resonate with you, because this is a situation of letting go over and over and over and over again, moment to moment to moment to moment, and really having to practice the good enough principle. That being said, if you become aware of like either intuitively or with tangible knowledge, you're like, I just don't feel good about this. I feel like she's gonna get me sick. Then that might be a, hey mom, I'm not comfortable with the amount of people you've been with lately. So we need to pause errands for the next 10 days. If you choose to go out and run some errands, the 10-day clock is going to start again, and you're just going to have to be without for 10 days. And then we want the energy of cold dead rock. Okay? And I'm going to show this picture, and this is not to the person. I am not showing this to the narcissistic people in our lives, though I can make a lot of smart ass jokes about it. I'm showing this to show this as a visual that might help ground you. I don't want to give the finger to the person. I want to give the finger to our own pattern with the person, or to the chaos that just certain personalities kick up. Can you see her? Can you see this naked little female fairy sitting on the mushroom, kind of nonchalantly, just giving the middle finger? Okay. Cold, dead rock with a narcissistic personality, what that does is it cuts off narcissistic supply. Similar to what I said answering the other questions from tonight's live stream, it's less about the words. So if I sit with a narcissist and go, that's fine, and it's eating me up on the inside, I am giving them so much narcissistic supply. They have plugged into me and they're like, she is so upset. Oh, she is activated. She is giving this so much energy. And they will leave energized and we will leave drained, because it's not about the words coming out of our mouth. It's about getting this whole system on board with cold, dead rock. Why? Because a cold, dead rock, if it's stormy, it sits there in the storm. If it's sunny, it sits there in the storm. If it's windy, it sits there in the storm. If it's beautiful outside, it sits there in the storm. What we've got to admit as highly sensitive people, particularly if we're empaths, it is like narcissists can smell us, whether they've known us for a lifetime or they've never met us before. So we have to learn what narcissistic supply is and how we inadvertently participate in giving it. Because if I'm going to still interact with this person, I've got to cut off that supply, because it's like stray cat. The more I feed, the more food they want, not less. And the more expectation they have for that food. And then I'm going to show up frequently and feed them. So I've got to really get a handle on, where does this person plug into me and take narcissistic supply? And I promise you, it's less in the things that you do and more in the what is going on here, and in the gut. So if she's going to just go out kissing everybody at the grocery store, to be able to take a deep breath and go, kind of emotionally. Because trying to have boundaries with a narcissist is like the saying, like trying to herd cats. They tip and they do this. So as soon as we set up a boundary, they, they do this. So it's not that we can just go, screw it, not going to set any boundaries. We've got to set the boundaries knowing they're going to try to be herding cats all around. So when they cross them, if we get real control issues, we're just feeding their narcissistic supply. They feel that energy. And we've got to understand that, because if we, as sensitive empaths who are trying to be really good people in the world, if we feel somebody that upset with us, we're going to go, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, what did I do? What did I do? No. I want to make this right. I'm so sorry I hurt you. What did I do? We want to make it right. When a narcissist feels that energy, it's not conscious, but they don't want to make it right. They're like, yes, feed me, feed me, feed me. So we have to learn how to not project that, okay? And we accidentally do that a lot as highly sensitive people. We did, and there's a whole bunch that goes on in our heads and in our hearts and in our guts, and our bodies get anxious everywhere and tense. They feel all that. It feeds them. So we want to learn, even when they're walking up, pushing every button we have, to sort of horsey lip energy, rock energy. And if she's just going to hit all those buttons, okay, mom. That's the energy of rock. All right. I've done what I can do. I'm not going to get close to you for the next 10 days. And we're not going to go do things. I know it's real hard, Mom. I know it's real hard. And just allowing it. Not trying to over-explain. Over-explaining is a big source of narcissistic supply for narcissists. And HSPs, we walk right into it. Giving and giving and giving and giving. And that narcissist goes, yeah. And then it happens again because they weren't hearing it, trying to integrate it to change. They were just going like, yeah, that energy, it gives me supply. It does. I don't even understand it, but I like it. So I'll be back for more. And I'm going to break the rules again because that's what I do. So in some ways, and in all seriousness, and this is a great petri dish. I know they make me want to throw something at me, but this is a great petri dish for you to work on some control issues. And each time she kind of tests your control issues to just, yeah, I don't have control over this. I'm going to let that go. And maybe that's a time to pick up the letting go journal, the letting go book. Because if you can practice letting go of some control issues with a narcissistic mom during COVID while living with you, this is like Olympian-sized gold medal muscles that you will develop. And after this crazy year, you're going to be like a gold medalist in terms of cutting off narcissistic supply and walking out into the greater world. You're going to be less affected by any narcissist that trip over you. So it's a good petri dish. Keep doing what you're doing. Support yourself. Try to laugh about it. Not at her, but at the situation. Even the way that you wrote it, like I think you have a killer sense of humor, you know, picturing somebody kind of frantically like running in. Don't go into fear too much. I think that's a big part of managing this COVID situation. Doesn't mean throw out the precautions, but it doesn't help us to be at level 9 and 10 constantly. Like, you know what the risks are? Like, all of us would do good to kind of try to come from a 5 than a 9 or a 10 constantly, because the 9 or a 10 is not going to make anybody be safer. We can deliver those messages out of 5 or even lower. And because of this, like, I think if we ground ourselves in the reality, we don't have to like it or agree with the reality, but we can ground ourselves in it. People have been going out more. More people are going to be sick. That's happening right now. So we can hope and we can pray and we can cross our fingers that Anne's mom doesn't get sick and that anybody else we love and care about and everybody doesn't get sick. Some people are also just going to be more willing to risk certain things than others. I'm a believer that if you have people that are living in your home, whether they're older or younger people, that it's your rules. That it's your rules. And figuring out how to construct them in a way that helps you not lose your mind or get really frustrated or over-explain is really important. And to let go when you just can't do it anymore. Okay?